so that I'm recording so that later on I can share with you guys. So who requested? That is Michael. I'm recording, so I will share with you later on. Okay. Right. So this is for the orders, and these orders are tied to product IDs. They are tied to territories. They are tied to and so on and so forth. So all the orders that have been made, this is where they record it, and then this information deals with the areas or the regions that they sell their products. So these are data that is coming from the database. Okay, so they give you this information in addition to this budget, and then they want you to answer the questions that they asked. How are we meeting the budget? For based on the sales that we made, are we meeting the budget? Who are our most regular customers? Who are our top paying customers? If we didn't meet the budget, what is the variance? Okay, both in percentage and in figures, right? And then they should be able to, for all the products, we want to know for each of the products, whether accessories, whether the bags itself, were we able to meet targets, and what are the what do you call it? Were we able to meet target at the first one, and what are the differences that we're not able to meet, or did we exceed it? So now the information like this looks too cumbersome, right? You need to take your time and run through. If business needs to make a decision based on this data, you know it will take them forever to do it, right? And it is your responsibility as data analyst to be able to take this data, fuse them together, and then work with it. So we are going to use the tool that we are studying, which is Power BI, to fetch this data, that is extract, transform this data so that it makes sense to Power BI, and then visualize this information and then send it out. Are we clear?
Very clear, thanks.
Okay, any questions so far? No questions. All right. So let's start. Now, let me stop sharing for a minute, and then I will get back to you. Zoom recording. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So this is exactly the same screen that you all have, right? I mean, those who have already installed the Power BI, you all have the same thing. So let us go through the interface, right? So you look from the very first time you look at this, it looks complicated. It looks, what is this? But it is very simple and very nice, right? Microsoft has rearranged this so it suits. Why do I have 13 people in this? All right, let's go.
Okay, I'm logged on 2 times.
Okay,
so
okay.
I'm using.
Sure. Yeah. I understand. Okay, so the very top, as you all know, these are the menu items, right? And below them are, for each of the menu item ribbons, we have options that you can work with. So can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So we have the home button, we have the insert, we have the modeling, view, and help. So the home button, basically, this is where whenever you are starting to work, most of the time you use the home button, but most of the functionalities and features of this home button can also be found right at the workspace that you see here, the white workspace. And in the white workspace, you can add as much workspace as you want, just like an Excel sheet, right? Excel sheet, you can add more Excel sheet as you want. So let me just delete all this. We don't need. Right. So yeah. So in Power BI also, you can have extra sheets where you can add. So we have the get Get basically is a tool or the functionality that helps you to be able to connect and extract data, right? Then aside the get, most of the functionalities, whatever you need to get has also been brought here. So you can use Excel workbooks, Power BI data set, SQL, or you can do manual entries. So for those of you who have worked with data entry clerks, going to pick data and enter them and so on and so forth, right? Instead of letting them use maybe Access or Excel or whatever for you to extract, you can actually open this for them and give it to them to actually do the entries here themselves. Right? But anyway, this is not. So when you do the entry here yourself, right here, you can be able to start using them directly. But unfortunately, we are not going to work with this. Oh, did I just close? Yeah, we are not going to work with them. So here, so the get helps you connect to a data source and then pull the raw data that you're going to work with, right? And we have the transform. You know, as I said, there are stages in work, trying to work as a data analyst. We have the extract, we have the transform, visualize, and then what? The load. So the transform phase, you can start transforming from right here, right? Then we have the visuals for if you want to start creating the visualization, the reports, and so on and so forth. So here you can have new visual text box, and so there are many. Then this session is called the measures or the calculation session, where you are able to create queries, right? So for example, you have imported some tables. Then the table is listed about 5 meg or 10 meg. That's a lot of data, or 200 meg. And you want to add some more columns based on the task that you need to do. Cleaning the data requires you to add more columns, to add some few values to it, right? But actually going to the data set to add columns to the exact data set, you are just bloating the size of the data set, right? So you can use measures to create whatever calculation that you need to do, which will not be added to the data, but it will be hanging in. Those who have ever done SQL before, if you know what do you call it, stored procedure is, or functions, right? Stored procedures or views, they work just like this. That is, if you've ever done database before. Okay, so stored procedures, views, functions, they work the same way, right? Yes, store procedures, views, functions. So what you do is that those functions are not in the database. You create them and they are somewhere, right? So you can always refer to them, and it looks as if they are part of the table, but they are not. So here in Power BI, we call them measures. Sensitivity is, applying restrictions, and then we have the publishing, where you'll be able to load your data either to most of the time to Power BI Cloud, to your organization, where your business leadership will be able to access data, because whatever you are doing here, you should know that they will not be coming to your machine to look at it. You need to publish it to them in the cloud so that they can have access to. So because of time, I'm not going to go through insert all that, the rest. Whilst we are learning, we will be going through the rest of them. But the key things are the ones I've shared with you, for the ones on the menu bar with the various ribbon buttons. Now, when you come to the left side, this is the visualization tab or the reports tab. So here, and it's exactly the same thing you're seeing here. This is the tab where you actually create all your visuals. You add a chart, you add an image, you add a text, you drag and drop for reports creation. This is where you actually do the thing, the main reporting. This is where you do it. This button here is the data button, where actually all the information or the data that you have extracted or imported or gotten from whether Excel or SQL or whatever source or Power BI data sets, all of them will be displaying right here, right? Then we have the relationship or model tab, where you now model your data. For example, when you say modeling, you interconnect, because most of the information that you're working are almost always interconnected to one another. And it is key that you know how this data is interconnected, else you'll be running reports and they are not based on correct data. So remember that I told you that the transformation process is the most important part. This is where all the transformation is going through before you can now jump to reports. That one's just easy. But this and this is the key, is the work itself. Okay, so we have the models, we have the data, and then we have the reports. So this is where we'll be working most of the time. And you can see that on your right side, let's go to this. Okay, you should see some other tabs. Okay, so fields, you realize that there's nothing here is blank. Anytime you get or extract data and place them here, all the data that you have extracted should show here. Cool. If it doesn't show here, then it means that you have not extracted it or connected to it yet, right? Then we have the visualizations. This is where whatever reports you're running with, this is where you actually get the designs and the looks and whatever you need to do. This is where you get them from to do your reports. Then we have our filters. Okay, so here with the filters, you use this to zoom in or choose a particular set of data that you are working with, or modify a particular set of data that you are working with, right? So with time, whilst you are going through the process, you will learn, we'll be using all these tabs and menu items and controls. So it's good you know where each of them are located. So when I say go to the fields tab, or you know where you're going to go to the visualization tab, you know where you are going. Okay, and then for the sheets, you know, as I said, you can add as much as you want. So this is a brief intro on the interface for, what do you call it, Power BI. And realize that at the extreme right corner up here, they say sign, there's a sign in option here, right? And it is key. I will be creating a company-based email address. You go to, those who already have one, you go to Outlook, you create a company email. So I'll just use your name at stepmicrosend.com. You go to Outlook, you create one. Then you'll be able to use that to sign in, to set up. You put in the information here to bring up the Outlook login, and then you'll be able to enter your details, and voila, you are good to go. Okay, any questions on the interface?
Okay, I have a question.
Yes, who is speaking?
Yes, Michael.
Mike, right?
For the side where you choose the reports and the links and all that other stuff at the left side.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the list one, the one that links the tables and all that.
Mm-hmm.
The last one down there, huh?
The model.
Yeah, I want to know what happens if you mistakenly link something else to something else, which is not supposed to be.
When you mistakenly link something else to something else, what happens is that when you run a report, you'll be getting unreliable data, really, because if you want to know, if, for example, the data that we just have, you want to know in a month, a particular month, okay, or a particular year, how much sales was made, and you go, instead of linking it to the calendar, you go and link it to, let's say, a different table. right? That will not be able to give you a breakdown of the month. The report will look like, oh, it's not correct. It will you give you a messed up reports. And what happens is that you might thinking that there's a problem with your report, but no, the problem is with the underlying data itself. So you should be careful. And also, if there is no connectivity among tables, right? Even if when you try to link it, it will not work. It will just throw an error that these two tables have nothing in common. The problem is when you link them and they have something in common, but they're not the right table to link because you don't know what you're doing, then you mess up the entire thing, right? But if there's no link between them, and what causes, and this is where if you have a little knowledge about SQL, it will help. What brings about the link is for every table that you create, right? We have what we call the primary key or an identifier that shows each column of data that you have, right? And then these primary keys or identifiers, when you are working with other tables, you instead of calling the full length of the column, you just pick the identifiers and then you apply them. For example, someone wants to buy, let's say, a bike. The bike is called mountain bike A5, right? At the user face, at the user interface, they will select mountain bike A5. But at the back end, when he makes a purchase, the information that is saved in the sales table will not be mountain bike A5. It will be the identifier for mountain bike A5, right? That will be placed in the sales table. So you can be able to link the product table to the sales table because they have these identifiers connected. I hope I'm making sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
but if,
very much.
If the identifiers, there's no identifiers to connect them, there's no link, you know, it will say, oh, there's no link, or probably you might have linked it to a wrong table and then it will throw up a lot of errors. So one of the key things is that when you get the data, you look at it carefully before you start doing your linking. But one nice thing about Power BI is that sometimes once you connect it extracts the data, right? It automatically looks at where they are likely links and does the linking for you. You only come in to do some changes if you think that those links, you don't want them. But most of the time, it auto does the linking for you. That's what makes it sweet. So yeah, if you're scared of that, don't be scared. Right. Does that answer your question?
Yes, please. Yes, okay. I understand that.
Any other question? Right. Silence means that let me pause the sharing. Go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead. Philip, right?
This is Philip. I wanted to ask. Yes, I wanted to ask in the measures. As you are saying, does it work like Excel? The functions in Excel. Hello.
Yes. Sorry, I was talking. I had muted my mic and talking. Yes, it works like something similar. What we will start working on it, so you see how it works. Something similar. It doesn't really apply data to whatever you generate. It doesn't apply it to the field, but it uses those functions, or you can call it functions, or you can call it queries, or whatever it is that you want to, you're familiar with, right? It uses that to pick the data, and so you have a data that you're looking at, but the data actually doesn't sit on the table itself. It's auto-generated. It's a script. It's logical. Yeah. So sorry, I was talking and I was on mute, so I was just talking in vain. Okay. Any other question? All right. No question. Let me share with you chats. Let me share with you the files, right, that I have. You can download them and then you can start working along as I work, or you can take your time and go through. After this course, I will share a video tutorial with you. Where's this thing? There you are. Where are you? Oops. My job, data analyst. Let me share this with you. Open. Then you can also, oh, using it, let me just close. Right. Don't save. It says I cannot share with you because I'm actually using it, and it's true, I am using it. Do you see what I'm doing? I hope you're not seeing it.
No, we are not seeing what you're doing.
That's great.
No, we are not, sir.
Right, because I'm opening sensitive file. So, okay, so I have shared the budget file, and I'm also currently uploading the AdventureWorks. If you can see it, the data sources in your chat, so you can, all of you can have access to it and download it. Then you can use it later on. It's taking a while to upload from my end. Let's give it a little time. But the budget file has already been able to download. So, okay, it's almost done. Oh, I'm only sending it to Daniel. Sorry.
No, I have it too.
Michael, yeah, I only sent it to you, which is not good. Everyone.
Okay.
Oh man, that's messed up. Yeah, I need to send it again. Budgets. Michael, just download it and share it with the rest of your team, because I think I sent it only to you, so download it and share with the rest of the team. Okay, so Michael will share that with you. I forgot that it was only on him because he sent a message to me earlier. Okay, now let's go ahead. So what we're going to do now is I think I want to show you the end result of what we need to see, okay? So that you have a picture in your mind whilst we go ahead with what we are doing. So let me pause.
He has done it.
All right, I'm starting with the recording. So we have the Excel sheets, right? And we have the data sets. So now let us start the process, right? Is to extract. So when you click on get data, you should see all the data sources you can pull data from. There are many: Excel, Power BI data set, data flows, Dataverse, SQL, analysis services, text, web, name them. When you click on more, it will, yeah, this my machine is in trouble. It's loaded, so don't mind me. Okay, it has a lot. Can you imagine? Azure database for PostgreSQL, SQL, so come on. So no matter which or where the data is residing, Power BI has a driver that will allow you, even in LinkedIn. I think I saw LinkedIn somewhere. Right? LinkedIn, where are you? If you see, okay, LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Oh, okay, there's an app. Right. So here we don't want all this. We know where we are getting our data from. And basically it's what? An Excel workbook, right? So we click on it and then we connect. Then it takes you to for me, I know where my files are. So there are two files, the budget and then the database itself. So I click on it, I say open. Yeah, don't mind me. I'm using a very old 1945 machine. So yeah.
Hello. Where can you locate the files that have been shared? This copy.
Kofi, oh, you are saying, Mike, you should go. I mean, if you go to chat, when you click on chat, they should see the files there. Then download them.
Yeah. So if you download, you have to specify a folder where you want it to be downloaded to, and that is where you can locate it.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay. Welcome.
Okay. So forgive me, my machine there, Charlie. I need to take it to somewhere for. They need to pour water in it and wash it. It's dirty.
Corona, the worry small.
Yeah.
It needs vaccine.
No, it has too many things loaded. I have this same machine is running MS SQL. It is running IIS server. It is running database server. It's running Charlie. That's a good one. So a lot of things are running at the background, and I'm also doing video call on it. Oh, I know Uncle Bay and Papa. This idiot. You like fruits.
Master, you don't get any complaint. Go get 5 machines.
Yeah. I will change it soon. But Charlie, it's not the changing the machine is not a problem. I'm so attached to it. Like as an old girlfriend, living here is very difficult because it's easy to pick up from wherever you left off. That's the only problem. Anyway,
it's very true. It's very true.
talking from experience. Oh God, have mercy. All right, so these are all the tables that I just showed you. We have and when you connect to Excel, oh thank you, it's done. When you connect to Excel, it shows you the sheets, right? That the data is in, and then the data itself. Definitely, I don't want the sheets. We just want the data, right? So you can see all the table that is showing. So we have the calendar table where I showed you have all the months and the quarters and the breakdowns, and the customer tables where we have all the sales. The nice thing about this is that when you click on it, it gives you a preview of what is available, right? So which is cool. So we select all the information that we need. We need territories, we need sales, we need products, customers. Here, this table looks well formatted. No, there's no confusion data anywhere. Yeah, so yeah, we'll choose it like that. Yeah, it looks cool. Just that, yeah, this product, we need to clean some of this nouns. Customer, yeah, it looks cool. And calendar. Yeah, I think I'll give it cool. Let's load it. So you click on load. And then it's loading the data. So you can see that. Yeah, don't mind me. Yeah. Okay. Are you seeing my screen?
Not at all.
Pardon?
I only see your pastoral picture.
Oh,
we're not seeing your screen.
Okay. Something just said recording progress and you left off. Yeah, that's why I asked. So let me just share it again. You see my pastoral picture. Do I look like a pastor?
Or something like that.
Right. So, okay. So you can see that once we loaded the data, when it comes to the field, you see the data that we loaded all showing. Have you seen? Before it was not there. So anytime you load data, you should be able to show them in the fields. And when you click on it, it's to show you the content of whatever that's in there. So yeah. we're good to go. All right, so the next thing we need to add the other one. There are two, right? The budget. Same process. Yeah, for budget, because it is man-made, but the budget is not pulled from any data, so it was man-made. So you can see the sheets there because it looks nyama. When you click on it, look at how it looks like. You know, Adventure Works budget, day column 3, column 4. It doesn't look well formatted, right? Like the other ones. The other ones had their column names well formatted. They look and this looks nyama. So with this, we will have to transform it before we load. Cool. So let's say,
yeah, cool.
Transform data. All right. So this is the Power Query editor. Now, this is a very powerful tool. This tool helps you transform your data before you can load or start working on, right? And here you can do so many things, right? And so here we are going to now actually transform this. For example, let's look at product table, right? See, this looks wonderful. Can you hear me?
Hello. Yes, I can hear you. Can you come up again with what you just did before the transformation? It was really quick on my eyes. Yeah.
I should restart the process.
I'm talking about with regards to the budget. Have you loaded that already?
No, instead of loading, I clicked on transform because we need to work on it.
Where did you click the transform? Like,
let me start the process again. Do you want to save changes? Not now. Let's start it all over again. So we go to, you realize that there is no budget table here, right? Why? Because we didn't add it. So we go to get data, Excel workbook. Then I select the Excel file budget. We have 5 minutes to go. Then I click on the budget. It loads the contents of the worksheet or of the sheet, right? And it looks nyama. Instead of having column names, it's having column 2, column 3, column 4. We have prepared by John. This is not something you should work with. That doesn't make sense. And you realize that in the Excel sheet, it looked nice, right? You could understand it. But here, it's totally on. You can't understand it. It doesn't make sense. And once you can make sense out of this, Power BI can also make sense out of this, right? So the next thing to do is to transform. You see a transform button right here, load, transform, cancel. So you click on transform data. Can I go ahead?
Yeah, thank you.
All right, and this brings you to the Power Query editor or the query editor and you can see we have some queries here. We have the applied steps, and we have all the tables also here. Right? Oh, why do I have, okay, the other budgets, let me get rid of this. Remove, delete, budget 2. Delete. Okay, I already have this one here. Yeah, so. Okay, so Adventure Works, column 1, column 2, column 3, it doesn't make sense. And then now it's here. But when you go to products, see they are well structured, right? The products, the names are there, everything, the types are cool. This is text, this is numeric, text, numeric. So it looks well formatted, right? This is date, it looks well formatted. But our budget table, because it was done by a human being to be able to work with, because it is the finance. Hey, those who are into finance, how do you guys do your budgeting? How do you guys do your budgeting? We
do it in Excel and then load it.
You do it in Excel and load it. But who? So how does the process start? you have a meeting, then you say, okay, this year, this, that,
You
that.
have a meeting with the various departments, and then you go through the budgeting process with timelines. Then various strategic business units will devise their budgets, and then you consolidate them in Excel and upload them into the system.
God damn it. That's a freaking long process. I thought it was a 1 day thing. This will take like a whole month.
Oh, more than that.
Right. It's good I'm not you. Anyway, so let's go ahead. So, right. So we need to, this budget looks messed up because most of the comparison we are going to do is going to be against the actual sales against this budget, right? To see if we met it or we didn't make, we met the target or we didn't meet the target, to see if we exceeded. So it has to look nicer for the system to be able to understand it. So again, I'm going through the process. On your left side, you have all the tables. On the right side, we have what we call the apply steps. This is what is most important. With the apply steps, okay, whatever you do here is written down here, so that if anybody comes back and take this particular data set, they'll be able to step through all the steps you went through to get to the final source, right? So that if there's an error or mistake somewhere, they'll be able to quickly, so this is what you did. It was not supposed to be like that. You rectify it. So it makes the query editor makes it so easy for you to go through the steps and undo or redo whatever you've done that you think is not right. Right? Cool. So let's start the process. The very first thing we need to work on in trying to transform this data is, what is this? Prepared by this and then adventure. These two columns, they are not, yeah. It's not right. So we need to remove these two columns, right? So we go to, did I say columns? Sorry, rows, sorry. We need to remove these two rows. So we go to remove rows, right? And then you say remove top rows, because definitely they are at the top, right? They are not at the bottom, right? So you say remove top rows. And then to ask you the number of rows you want to remove. Definitely, I want these two things off. So I say 2. My keyboard is off. 2. Okay, and I say okay. And then once it's oh, someone has joined twice with the noise is, I'm getting an echo feedback in here. So you can get the one out or mute one of them. Okay, so once I remove the top rows, you realize that, oh, come on. Once I remove the top rows, you realize that it's been applied here, right? It shows the steps here so that anytime when I click on it, it should be able to tell me what I did, right? So I say remove top rows, then it showed that it removed these 2 top rows. I think I'll do one more and then I'll stop with the transformation, then we'll continue next week. So one more step. This is the headers, categories, subcategory, product name, product key, the dates, right? They're not supposed to be in the data field. They're supposed to be the headers, just like territories has their own headers, region, everybody has their headers, nice, right? But the budgets, because we pull it in here, not from a database, not properly formatted, we need to make sure that this also goes to headers, right? So it's easy to do that. On the transform tab, you should see use first rows as headers. Can you see it?
Yeah, we can see that.
Right, so then you click on use first rows as headers. And then again, it's automatically place an item here. So use, now we have these things, all of them showing in the headers. We'll pause here and then we'll continue Monday. By Monday, you should be able to have something to work with. So yeah, basically that's, when we meet on Monday, we'll do more transformation. make it look a little bit nicer, and then we'll continue from there. I'll pause here. If you have any questions, 2 minutes. We are 3 minutes off time, so we are 3 minutes into time. So if you have any questions, you ask the quick before I pause. I end the session.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
This is Philip. I wanted to ask, is it, if you don't have Excel on your machine, is it possible to get it on Excel online, or you need to have Microsoft Office on your machine before getting data?
Why do you ask this question? Is this question in connection with this what we are doing here, or something that you want to ask on it?
Yeah. No. For instance, you might send a data that I tried to download, but I don't have Excel on the machine. Is it possible to get it directly on Power BI?
Oh, no, it doesn't matter.
Without Excel being installed on your machine.
Yes. You can, once it's an Excel file, once you connect it, just pick it. Yeah, it should pick it from there. I have not tried that, but try it and let's see. It should work. I don't think it should give you any issue. It should work fine. Nice question, actually.
Okay.
Nice question. Yeah, that's a very practical question. Any other question? Okay. So I'll see you guys Monday. During the course of the week, if you have any issues, don't try to go to the letter that we've done. If you have any issues, don't hesitate to ping me, right? When we meet Monday. By Monday, Wednesday, we should be done with Power BI and then move to something else. So we are going to run by next week. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much. That was very insightful. Thank you.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Thank you very much.